Welcome to Daddy vs. Doctor. Here are your hosts, pediatrician Dr. Scott Cohen and comedian Sebastian Maniscalco.
All right, welcome to another episode of Daddy versus
forgot where you were.
versus Doctor. Yeah, I'm all over the map today. My name is Sebastian Maniscalco, Dr. Scott Cohen. Going to get into some parenting things today, some things I want to bring up with you in regards to health and wellness when it comes to kids. But as we always do, I'd like to start with an incident or an
incident report.
a scenario that's going on with Caruso and Serafina and child rearing and what have you. We've been trying to eliminate a lot of the snacks around the house, and I'm sorry that this is going to happen because it's going to totally affect you when you come over here. But we're trying to give them a little bit more, not so much carbs with sugar, because we're seeing a big difference in behavior when sugar is prevalent.
Yep.
And I'm surprised, and I don't know if we talked about this before, but the schools, the hospitals, the what have yous do not have proper nutrition within the infrastructure.
100%. When I was at training at Children's, the only thing that was open after 9 o'clock at night, and we were there all night long, was the McDonald's.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
I just feel like the medical profession does not even really pay attention to diet and exercise as a preventative measure.
I wish I could argue with you.
for some of these.
Right?
And I'm trying to figure out why. Or are the people going to medical school now? Are they being educated more on nutrition, or is it just...
I don't think so. I don't think nutrition is a big, class in, medical school or in residency training. I didn't get anything about that. I think you're right. We sort of just say, eat healthy, and you sort of go with what you've learned and what you've heard. I do think it's unfortunate. And, we've talked about this. There's more and more out about longevity in adults, right? Living longer, healthier, not necessarily to, 110 years old, but just in your older age, being more capable and healthy and starting that sooner. And I think we need to start it during childhood, right? Like I give prescriptions to you for an ear infection and for a rash and for an eye infection, but we don't give prescriptions for, hey, why don't you eat like this? Or why don't you walk 10 minutes a day? And I think that would be really interesting and really unique and something that we really should develop more, where I say at a certain age for a 2-year-old, hey, why don't you take a walk with your family every night for 7 minutes? And by 5 years old, you're doing 15. Because if we made it part of our routine, which I think is what you're saying, then it'd be easier to be a healthy adult.
Yeah, I think the habits start now.
Right.
But my question is, I guess, if you're implementing good health habits at home, once they go out into the world, whether it be their friend's house, a school, a birthday party, it's just inundated with like sugary foods and whatnot. So it's like, what do you tell the school, that your kid's a fake diabetic and they can't have any?
No, I mean, you can't avoid it everywhere. You just hope you instill healthy eating habits, that everything in moderation. And if they have a healthy base, right, if they're used to eating fruits and vegetables and they're around, and a lot of it we've talked about is ease of getting these things, right? It's much harder to grab a vegetable or a fruit than a bag of chips or pretzels that are always sitting around.
Yeah.
So if we made it as accessible, I think kids and other people would do it. I think, to your point, you mentioned the sugar. It's really interesting. We know this as a fact, that fluctuations in our normal sugar levels are one of the main reasons kids have meltdowns and temper tantrums. Actually, a main reason kids have headaches. And it's not that if I checked a child's sugar, it would ever be abnormally high or low when I check the blood test, but it's your fluctuations in normal sugar levels. Coupled with, one, you're right, they're all carb loaded, so all snacks are carb loaded. And two, nobody eats well or drinks well at school. So there's also a lack of hydration. So they carb load in the morning. They have a cereal or a pancake or a waffle or something with high carbs. They don't eat well during school. They don't drink well. Their sugar levels drop. And then they get home and it's a 50-50 shot. You're having an exorcism on the floor, right? And then they have another sack that's carb, and it's sort of up and down. So what we talk to families about, which is more than just diet, but protein keeps you euglycemic, keeps your sugar levels flat. So in the morning, especially kids who have a lot of meltdowns, I say the one medical thing I can tell you is try to push a lot of protein in the morning. So not just the waffle or the pancake, but an egg, a yogurt, and then hopefully have them drinking well during the day. And when they get home, have that first snack be a high protein snack, because that will keep their behavior and their sugar levels flatline.
With the busy fall season already in swing, you might be looking for wholesome, convenient meals for jam-packed days. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit, can help you fuel up fast for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track with your healthy lifestyle. Too busy this fall to cook? I know I am. But want to make sure you're eating well? With Factor, skip the extra trip to the grocery store and the chopping, the prepping, the cleanup too, while getting the flavor and nutritional quality you need. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes. So all you have to do is heat and enjoy, then get back to crushing your goals. Too busy around during the day to think about lunch? Keep your energy up with Lunch to Go. Effortless, wholesome meals like grain bowls, salad toppers that are ready to eat when you're on the go. No microwave required, people. With Factor, you're rest assured that you're making a sustainable choice. They offset 100% of their delivery emissions and source 100% renewable electricity for their production sites and offices. Head to factormeals.com/daddy50 and use the code daddy50 to get 50% off. That's code daddy50 at factormeals.com/daddy50 to get 50% off. I also wanted to hit on another thing in your personal life. You just recently got back from a vacation. Mm-hmm. Your wife and you have not went on a vacation in a while.
Yes.
Right? Like, how long?
15 years.
15 years.
I mean, by ourselves for an extended period of time. Yeah.
Reflecting back on your vacation, had you wished you have done this more often and not waited so long?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. And don't get me wrong. Look, we've been on vacations with other families and other couples for sure.
Like a reconnect time.
I think everybody needs reconnection, no matter what the state of your relationship, great or in between. It's phenomenal, and it needs to happen. It needs to reload. It changes how you act with each other. It changes how you act with other people at home, your own kids. Having that separation for even just 1 week. And we already talked about it, that finding a time, I mean, even once a year that we can do this if it's possible, because it really made such a difference.
Yeah, I find that when Lana and I go away, it's so different without the kids, because a lot of times as soon as you reinsert yourself back into daily life with the kids, you kind of go right back to the behavior that you did prior to going to the vacation.
Well, that's what surprised me the most. We got back Saturday night, so it's been 4 days, and unfortunately, what I'm most surprised about is how much back to the way it was happened so quickly. Not in a bad way, but like you said, it's the same little bit of bickering. It's the same bad habits that I have when I come home from work. It's the same discussions with the kids, where for that week it was a honeymoon and everything we said to each other was super nice and polite, and we held hands everywhere, and every time I talked to the girls on the phone or Zoom, it was lovely and there was no arguments. And within 48 hours of getting home, I'm already eating dinner by myself upstairs. So I wish I could yeah, I
mean, for myself, I'm like, okay, yeah, these trips are great while they're happening, and yeah, it's a reset. But what, a reset to go back into the same shit? How do you sustain it? That you be better to be raising kids in Bali and you zooming in every once in a while.
It is.
No?
It is. That was another thing. So we went to Bali, which is really just a different world, and it also. It was a little bit out of my comfort zone. It's a very different life there. A lot of herbs and a lot of They do a lot of tinctures and the fruit and living off the land, which is amazing. But it also made me want to change what I do at home because I loved it. It was just like, how does everybody not live to 100 years old when they're there? It's just amazing.
Yeah, no, it looked great. And then we zoomed from there, and you guys were in the pool, and I never seen you guys look happier.
Past tense already. No, but every couple should do it. I mean, everybody needs to do it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about not going to school when you're sick.
Serafina.
Another incident. Let's talk about that.
Serafina has this outer ear infection. Yes. She didn't go to school Monday.
Right.
Went to school yesterday.
Right.
She's home today.
Right.
And you just saw her now.
Right.
Happier than shit.
Happier it can be, right? Looks healthier than both of us.
Yeah.
So.
And Lana said, "Oh, she looked like hell in the morning." I don't know. I look like hell in the morning. I think everybody wakes up and they're kind of off. Here's a question though. Knowing that she has something.
Yes.
All of a sudden we get 3:00 in the morning, "Mommy," right? Never get that at all. Now that she's got in her head something wrong with her, it puts in her head that, oh, I now need
to tend to it. Right.
Yeah.
And look, we're not being mean. If somebody's sick and they're not feeling well and they're complaining about that, of course we're going to tend to it. The question is, when we're better and then the next day we're not, are we really not? In this case, I'd be more concerned if she had an inner ear infection, like we said. She has cough, she has congestion, she has fever. Inner ear infections, don't get better immediately on antibiotics. It can take several days, and sometimes one day is better than the other. But outer ear infections, which is more like a swimmer's ear after a day or two of drops, especially a day that was better, I would expect to be better. But I think to your point, yes, when kids are sick, you tend to them. But then if there's a question, let's say you think they're teething, well, you can go in and give Tylenol or Motrin, and now you fix the pain. And now a lot of times when they're crying for you, they're doing it more for comfort.
So she should be in school, right?
Based on what she looked like downstairs.
Well,
yes.
Also, and I'm not making excuses, I think she should be in school.
Yes.
She had a flu shot when she came in.
Yes. That's not a reason not to ever go to school. Ever. The two reasons she's not in school I've never in 20 years had somebody miss school for either one of those reasons. I'm just saying.
Okay. But I'm the asshole when I go downstairs.
You're sore from the flu shot. You're sore from your ear. Ibuprofen. Hold you for the 6 hours you're in school.
I want to touch on something that my sister and I brought up, that you had recently brought Talia into your office to talk to her about some things without my sister. You do this.
I do.
Right?
Yeah. She's a teenager. Yeah.
Okay. And as we're talking, I had brought this up and I wanted to present it to you. What if the parent has not had these conversations with their child, right?
Is this what happened?
No. I'm thinking about this.
Okay.
Because
it's a good point.
When Serafina comes, when she's 13, or when do you do it?
Yeah, 13.
Let's say I haven't talked to her about what you're going to be talking to her about. I don't want it coming from you before it comes from me.
Got it.
Right?
Yeah.
How do you ever?
Yeah, no, it's a really good question. I think that we can gauge it. There's a difference in maturity of some 13-year-olds and other ones, and some 17-year-olds and other ones. And I can sort of, by asking the questions, I don't spew, all the, sex information right off the bat. I sort of ask them questions, and by their answers, you can sort of gauge, is this something that we're in the process that we're thinking of? Is this way off? Is this something that we really need to discuss? So I feel like we're pretty good with doing that. I don't know that I've come into a situation where I've said something and then said to myself after, oh gosh, I really shouldn't have done that. You're right. As a parent, I would want to be the one who does it, but you also want some adult to preemptively talk about those things before they happen. But I'm sort of gauging risk factors, right? And that tells me what things I need to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I just started to reflect on my kids, and when they go to school, like what they learn at school,
right,
might not be. I might not want to introduce that just yet as a parent.
Because, well, here's the thing. So what typically happens in school, and this is sort of a gauge for us actually as doctors. So 5th grade, they usually do your first health class, but it's really just puberty. They're talking about puberty. They're not talking about sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It's straight puberty. 7th grade, so that's typically the age of around 12 to 13. And sometimes 8th grade, they do another health class, and then they start talking about sex and babies and sexually transmitted diseases. So most kids honestly have had the discussion, at least in school. And that's one of the questions I ask. Oh, have you had like a sexual education course? Have they talked about pregnancy? Have they talked about sexually transmitted diseases? By 13, 14, most of them had it. And I know what they say in school. So it's not too far off of that. And then based on their answers, we can judge. I mean, there are 13-year-olds who, you know, you may say the word protection and they're looking at you like you're crazy, like they have no clue what that means. And others are like, yeah, condoms, da, da, da. And you're like, whoa. So you sort of gauge on the child as well.
I was coming more from it going, knowing Serafina, she's 6.
Right.
In my head, I'm going, there's no way she's going to know about sex at 13.
Yeah, and it's not like necessarily, and we transfer a lot of our own feelings, and we do this at all ages, right? Like I get asked a lot when kids are younger, they're 5 years old, they ask how our baby's made, right? They just want an answer. At that age, right? Our answers have to be developmentally appropriate. For a 5-year-old, you're not going to go into the nitty-gritty of actually how intercourse works. You know, you can say, oh, when mommy and daddy or two people love each other, you know, whatever it is, they just want an answer. And we do that a lot even as kids get older. Sometimes what words mean to us, the visual we get for the words are very different from the visual they're getting. And so we don't necessarily need to transfer all of that information, if that makes sense.
Got it. Yeah. Talking about sex.
So wait, did that happen with your sister? Did I give information that was
no?
It
was
given.
Nothing to do with my sister. It had
okay.
I started to look at it and reflect and go, oh shit, when my kid goes in there, what do I want her to know about anything prior?
Right. It's more, well, why we're doing it also is probably more of a gauge of risk factors to discuss so that we're on the right track. So I may have mentioned this before. There's an acronym called HEADS. So it talks about topics you should talk to all teenagers. So typically at 13, I ask parents to leave. I say to both the parents and the child first, I said, if it's okay with both of you, I would love to talk to your child alone. I do this with all teenagers 13 and up. Everything we talk about is between me and you. I actually don't go out and tell mom and dad anything, even if they beg me. Best part of my job. No. The only thing I would have to report is if you were going to hurt yourself or somebody else. So that's my typical spiel. Parents are usually okay with it. And if the parents didn't want to, okay. If the child said, no, I want my mom and dad here, fine. And then we talk about HEADS, which H talks about home life. How's your relationships with your parents, your siblings, caretakers, things like that. E is education, how school's going. A is activities, what extracurricular activities you're into. D is drugs. S is two things. S and S is sex and then like suicidal thoughts and ideations. And then that sort of gives you a general, you just, obviously I don't say H, you know, whatever, but we talk about those topics, which are all important to teenagers to sort of gauge what's going on.
Okay, speaking on the sex thing, Caruso.
That's an interesting transition.
He came up to Lana and asked her,
yeah,
do I got a bone in my pee-pee? Right?
Yeah.
No.
That's great. Holy Caruso.
And I'm sitting there thinking,
yeah,
is there a bone around the penis? Is there any bones located in the groin?
No. You have
particularly at the bottom of the penis.
No, there's two. It's like
there's no bones in there.
No, just think of it as like they're called cavernosum, and they're on either side, and they fill with blood when you get erect, and that's why it gets harder. There's no bone. You can't. That's why you can't break a bone. There's no breaking of a bone.
There's no like even on the fascia.
No, I mean you have your pelvic bone underneath at the base.
Okay.
But anything heading out, there's no bone there.
Honest to God, did you think there was any bone around your dick?
No, it's the cavernosum
I'm not,
and the spongiosum.
I'm not talking to like these two who.
I'm still not convinced there's not.
Maybe mine is just not as hard as the three of you. I don't know. But like when Caruso asked that question, right? So like when you have an image in your head of like all these things, and he's just asking, so no, but it's fair to say to a child, oh, sometimes your penis gets bigger and harder. Which is
we didn't even go down that road.
You don't even have to. You may not even have to go. You can literally probably just say no, and then he's done.
No,
right.
I wasn't there for that thing, but I would have said no. There's no bones in there,
and that's it. We're having a steak for dinner. All right, so we got what's the segment called?
Mailbag.
Mailbag.
We're gonna jump right into the bag.
We got a Gerald. He's 48. His wife is 41. It's very detailed. 3 kids. 3-year-old boy.
Mailbag is packed. Go ahead.
Mailbag. All right. We are having serious issues potty training our 3-year-old. He practically refuses to use the toilet. He will go hide in the corner and poop in his underwear or right on the floor. It's very discouraging. He will pee in the toilet every once in a while, but he will literally sit on the toilet for an hour and not poop. We've tried some of reward training programs, and these don't work with this guy.
I've been through this.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Wow. You're right. Exactly. Stop potty training.
Yeah. It's you could try everything in the book.
Yes. You sound like me. It's crazy.
They're gonna I mean this is I live into it. But again, I'm going to, and we talked about this last night. I'm sorry to keep bringing this up.
I know the nighttime wedding we're not talking about. We're just gonna let that go.
6.5?
Yeah.
Still?
Yeah, we're still gonna let it go.
And the sucking of the thumb.
Yeah, that we'll fix.
That will fix.
Orthodontic.
I'm not worried about the orthodontic. I don't want my daughter going to prom with her thumb in her
She's
mouth.
not going to go to prom with thumb. They have thumb sucking devices and things like that. Orthodontic appliances. No, she won't. But the nighttime wedding is gonna go away. But the point of this is it's exactly right. So when a child doesn't want to go in the potty, don't force them to go, because all they're going to do is one of two things. They're going to hold and hide, and then they're going to get constipated. It's going to hurt, and then it hurts. They're not going to want to hold more, and it's a very vicious cycle, or they're going to have accidents. So the best thing to do is keep them in a pull-up, and it's hard for parents because we equate like, but they're so smart. Why can't they do this? Intelligence has nothing to do with potty training. We can do a million things till they're ready, and nothing works, and then when they're ready, it will be a week, and then they'll be done. So what I would do is put them in their pull-up. I'd still offer them when they're naked at bath time, do you want to sit? If they've just went, or they tell you they just went, they point or pull or dance. Oh, do you want to go sit? If they do, they can be clothed or naked. Doesn't matter if they go. Just make that connection between I went, I sit here, they go together. Then they'll start telling you beforehand, but make it all a positive experience. A lot of kids will pee in the toilet prior to pooping, and I'll have a child who will pee every time but will only poop in the diaper. Then you give them the diaper to poop in. You don't want to make this a negative experience, and I promise you they will not be an adult in a diaper.
Okay.
Except for your daughter at night.
Is that the only bag?
No, I got one more. It says, Dear Doc, my 2-year-old constantly grinds his teeth in his sleep. Could this be causing damage to his teeth? Your kids ever grind their teeth?
No, I haven't had that happen in my family. I feel like that's hereditary.
Grinding teeth is very common. For me, it's the worst sound. It's like nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah.
But kids commonly grind when they're teething, but they'll also commonly grind just because. And if you grind down baby teeth, there's nothing you can do about it. You're not going to put them in any type of retainer because their teeth are constantly growing and falling out eventually. And usually it goes away on its own by the time they have an adult teeth. And if they have adult teeth and they still grind, then they make night guards and things like that. So really for this, other than it being a horrible sound, you just ignore it. It's not causing any problem.
At what age does a kid have all their adult teeth? So when does that happen? When do they all fall out? When's the last baby tooth fall out? What age?
I mean, you have 12-year molars that finally come in. So usually by then you have most of your adult teeth.
You're losing teeth at 12?
No, usually you have all your adult teeth, and then there's another set of molars after that.
When's the last tooth fall out though? What age?
I mean, it varies, but I think up until that point, you could still lose teeth.
So 11-year-olds are still losing their teeth?
Some, yeah. Because you get all 16 of your 20 baby teeth are typically by 2 years old, and then you get your 2-year molars between usually 2 and 2.5. So you have 20 of your baby teeth typically by 2.5. Then they stay. Then you start losing teeth around 6, 7 years old. You lose them in the same order as you get them. So upper 2 centrals first, lower 2, and then you continue to lose them, and then you're gaining the adult teeth by then. So
I don't even know if you know this question, but this goes out to the room.
Yeah.
This could be an Aaron question.
This could be. We should ask her about are you still losing teeth at 11?
Why do you get 2 sets of teeth? Like
versus what? Like sharks having many teeth?
Hear me out.
Yeah.
Why do they even bother with the baby teeth? Like, what happened during evolution?
Right.
That teeth come in,
yeah,
they go away,
yeah,
and more teeth come in. Why don't we just get the teeth that we're going to be?
Can you imagine a 6-month-old with adult teeth? They wouldn't fit in your mouth. They have to adapt.
I want to know if that has always been a thing.
Yes, it's always been a thing. Evolutionary, have we had 2 sets of teeth? Yes.
Well, you know, we came upright during evolution, right?
We always.
But did teeth? Because here, I'll give you an example.
Yes.
The molars. Right. I have heard, and again, I can't quote the source nor where I heard this.
Yes.
But back in the day.
Yeah. Back in the day.
We used to have more teeth because we had to break down food that was, a lot of it was meat. Over the course of our life, our mouth, our jaw has become smaller due to the fact that we're not eating that the carnivore diet that we did back in the Stone Age.
But you know what Aaron did tell me recently?
They used to have more teeth in
they actually had much straighter teeth and a better spacing because of the diet. Because the backs are more grinding, the fronts are the incisors are more for pulling the meat. I don't know why she told me that. I remember she just said that. Did we really have more teeth back then?
Yeah. How many teeth
did Lucy have?
Did we have?
I don't know.
4 million years ago, we had more teeth.
I don't know.
And the teeth look different. Right? It's a different tooth.
Those look like your teeth. I don't know that we had different.
I'm telling you right now.
I think the shape may have been slightly different. The diets, you're right. They got worn down differently than our teeth now.
I feel like I'm talking to somebody who doesn't know about this shit. You're white.
Yeah, give me my phone, please. Give me my phone.
So, Aaron, his wife, is an orthodontist. I feel like she will have a unbelievable explanation. She's not gonna...
Okay, I have at my desk. What's up?
Oh, you're on Daddy versus Doctor. Sebastian has a question that they're Googling, but you will know.
So, Aaron, I believe 4 million years ago, we had more teeth in our mouth than we do now to break down meat that we're not necessarily, over the course of time, we do not need those teeth anymore. We used to have more molars, right?
We made more space for them. So if you look at Neanderthal skulls, you'll see they have perfectly straight teeth, and they have all of their teeth erupted and straight, including the wisdom, because their diets were so coarse that our normally rounded teeth that take up more space in the mouth that lead to crowding were actually worn down due to friction. So the reason why we don't have a lot of space for the wisdom is because all of our teeth maintain their really sort of bulbous shape, and that by the time the wisdom's formed now, we don't have room because our diets are typically soft. So,
okay, unbelievable explanation. Couldn't find that at all on Google.
Why do I find that so sexy? It's unbelievable.
And secondly,
one thing I'll tell you, there are some cases where because we don't have room, evolution would dictate that we're not going to form them anymore. I'm waiting for that to happen for the appendix. But I think, Scott, you had 1 or 2 congenitally missing. So I think the joke between you and I is that you used to tell me that you were more evolutionarily advanced than I was. So I think that's maybe what you're trying to get at, Sebastian. We're actually losing them because we don't have space for them.
Okay. And secondly, I'm wondering, and this could be completely off the mark here, why and have we always had 2 sets of teeth? Like, we get the baby teeth, and then you get the adult teeth. Was there ever a time, was it just one tooth?
No, but I have something more interesting for you. I don't know why we would have 2 sets of teeth, but I will tell you that what's really cool, you can have 2 baby teeth that fuse together. So it'll look like this one large tooth, and it looks like there's one tooth missing. And there's another thing where you can have a teeth that geminate, where they actually split into 2. So I think that's more interesting. But no, I don't know why we have 2 sets. We just have to. But I think the gemination and the fusion are cool.
And he asked me how long you lose teeth until, and I said usually up until 12, right? Because then you get 12-year molars, and then you're done, right?
Yeah, I kind of think everything's done around 12. Yeah. You know, kids are in puberty around 12. Girls are finishing. Boys are starting. You get your 12-year molars around 12. You'll have lost the last 10 to 12 baby teeth by age 12. So I joke with patients, when you leave the consult, if your spouse says, what did she say? Just tell them 12. Everything's happening at 12.
There you have it, people. Forget Google.com. You go to Aaron.com.
Lux Orthodontics.
Lux Orthodontics, located right. Oh, we have one more question. Adult teeth growing behind baby teeth. Have you ever seen that before?
Yes, it is normal for the incisors, which are the front teeth. They normally erupt lingual, which means towards the tongue. They erupt behind the baby teeth, so that's why sometimes if teeth are crowded, you'll see they look like shark teeth. Mm-hmm. But if the arch is wide enough, they normally push out the baby teeth, so you don't really get the shark effect. But the incisors normally erupt behind. But in the back, where your premolars come in to replace your baby molars, those will typically erupt further out towards the cheeks. So you kind of look fangy on some of the back teeth, but you look shark teeth in the front.
We're going to have a whole Daddy versus Dr. Mouth segment. Will you come on?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's National Orthodontic Health Month in October. I'm standing in my office right now wearing my headband. I don't even know how you caught me. I've not even had a second to sit down. So good timing.
Yeah, you always say you're working. It's very interesting that you picked up the phone.
Oh, shit. All right, go back to work. Thank you for all the knowledge.
Love you, babe.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. She knows everything. It's really annoying. That's awesome.
This for those of you out there that just witnessed that, basically rattling off facts that she either learned in school or learned somewhere along the way, and I cannot regurgitate a damn thing I read this week on the internet. Nothing. I mean, I'm throwing out, why is there baby teeth, and our mouth has gotten smaller. That's why we don't have enough teeth.
When she's quoting Neanderthals, when I heard that come out of her mouth, I'm like, wow. I'm impressed. Do one snack.
You know what? I don't even think we'll bring him over here, but I don't even think you could have the snacks.
I don't want snacks.
No. These look like some foreign snacks.
Oh, those are interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, this looks like, what is this, out of Europe? Brahmi Lupini. The Brahmi Lupini snack. With super beans gently pickled with a Mediterranean medley. What's this, like olives?
I got marinated with chili and lime. Oh, they're wet. Oh, wow.
I'm not into a wet snack.
Yeah.
No good?
No, they're fine. I mean, they're what you expect. They're slimy. They taste like something they give you on an airplane, and then you would never eat again. Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking horrible.
I don't like how my fingers smell after eating.
Fucking terrible. I'm not into Brahmi Lupini. They are Italian.
Where? Product of Italy. Oh, I wonder why they haven't made it to the U.S. yet. Well, I can tell you why. I could tell you why.
Yeah. I don't know. Just anything wet coming out of a...
Yeah. I'd rather have a cheese puff and gain some weight.
Brahmi Lupini gets a 0 out of 5.
For texture, 0 suckers. It tastes like a wet lollipop.
Oh, terrible. This is Toy Time with Daddy versus Doctor. Bait. What do you got? You got a patient?
No.
I'm telling you right off the bat. Here you go. just to get you guys an idea what this thing looks like. Give me your first thoughts based on the just visually. 5 seconds.
Really confusing.
Yeah. This
It's like a switchboard.
Yeah. This looks not fun. All right. It's called design. It says play and learn, designed by.
And already pieces.
You know what? Right away, I see this. You know what I see? Nerd. Complete nerd. Right?
What do you do with this?
I'm just gonna guess. I don't read directions. There's a key, and I'm gonna put the key in the thing. Turn it on.
Okay. And then what happens? It blinks. Oh, the green light goes on and off.
Fucking awful game. It says busy bored. What is the fucking game, bro?
Have them wash your car.
Yeah, but I mean, like, what do? You just press stuff.
just fidget.
Oh, wow, this is cool. All right, this is as good as the snacks that we just had.
Yes.
Why is snack time and toy time getting shorter and shorter?
Because our attention span is shorter and shorter.
Oh yeah, just I could tell this game sucked right from the get.
It's amazing we have no sponsors.
You know what? You know what we're doing? You know what's really a big hit right now in our house? Rubik's Cube.
Oh, and you know that I gave them one. We've been giving them out in the office, and then Lana was like, "How did you know?" I'm like, "Well, because we're on the heartbeat of kids."
That's all Serafina's been doing. Checkers. Caruso whips me every time we play.
Says a lot.
And recently, and this goes out to everybody out there, I need the best instructional video for making a paper airplane.
Oh,
okay.
I'll.
Do you know how to make a paper airplane?
Yeah, great one.
Oh, when we leave here, you're gonna have
do
to
one. We'll go down, do one, and we'll do it with your father. Whatever he made earlier today.
He made
a helicopter. Went up and down.
He made a bird that flies out of paper. Did you see it?
No, you can do that.
Yeah,
was he
like a
trained in Japan?
A Sicilian
origami
bird he made.
Wow.
But the paper airplane, our nanny makes a paper airplane that goes at least 35 feet. It's like
impressive.
A glider.
Does it have a tail?
No tail. It's got tape on it, which I've never seen done before.
Wait, all right, let's see. We'll go head to head.
Yeah, so if you guys are out there, please send in your best instructional video on how to make a paper airplane. Dr. Cohen will film his downstairs after the show, and we'll post it online. But really interested to see what you came up with. I did one, and mine is the type of paper airplane when you throw it, it falls apart. Like everything falls apart. Like it splits down the middle.
Yeah.
Nothing's holding it together. But this thing that my nanny made looks like a.
I want to see this.
Thing
it's been years, but let's try this. All right.
There you have it. Daddy versus Doctor. Coming at you again, and we hope you enjoyed this episode, and we are looking forward for a big Christmas episode here on Daddy versus Doctor. We'll show the audience how to decorate a Christmas tree, and he's Jewish. Thank you.
The opinions expressed in this program are not intended as professional medical advice, as a diagnosis, as a treatment protocol, or as a substitute for professional medical advice from your physician. Please consider your own medical history and consult with your own physician for your specific healthcare and/or medical needs and about your concerns for yourself and your family.